here with actress Heidi Schooler, and we're going to talk about her last stuff she's worked on. Okay. Hi, Heidi.
Okay,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Julia?
I'm fine. So what? I've heard you've been in a lot of shows, but if you could choose one favorite, what would it be?
It would be CSI New York.
Oh.
Yeah, I had a really good time doing that part on that show. It was to play a mom for someone who was a boy that was your age. But it was a very good part because at the end of the show I got him back. He had been kidnapped, and then by the end of the show I got him back. So it was a nice ending of a good show, and the people on that cast were amazing.
What did you just finish working on?
Well, I just recently finished working on a film called Michael Sadler's Crusade, and it's about, actually this is interesting, it's about the child labor laws in England in the year of the 1800s, and they used to have children that would work jobs that they're not allowed to work now because they have very little fingers and things, and they would be able to maneuver things that adults couldn't do back in England in the 1800s, and it became illegal. So this man, Michael Sadler, was a member of Parliament back then in England, and he's the one who pushed to get the laws passed so that children couldn't work these kind of jobs anymore. Yay!
Yay! Go children!
Yes!
Okay, first I'm gonna ask you, what is your all-time favorite book?
My all-time favorite book, even when I was a kid, was The Hobbit. Okay, and I know it's really chic right now because all The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and all those movies are out now. But this was, I mean, I'm not ancient or anything, but this was a while back. But I mean, I remember I was in 4th grade and my parents were really into it. So they told us to read the books, and I was so into like all the characters and the different areas, you know, the different lands, you know, like where each one lived, like where hobbits lived versus where Strider lived, you know, Aragon, where all the different characters live. And I find out now it's kind of it's unusual because I was like in 4th grade. I think I was in your age. I was in your grade.
Yeah, I'm also in 4th. My table partner at school, the only thing she talks about is The Hobbit, The Hobbit, The
Really?
Hobbit, The Hobbit, The Hobbit.
But now there's a film coming out about The Hobbit, another film by the man who did the other 3 films. So it's going to be good though, right? Are you going to go to the film with her?
I might. I usually like reading the book first.
Yes.
But she brought the book. She's like bigger. Oh, Julia. What do you like? What would you like to be, a wizard or hobbit? And I'm like,
she's into it, isn't she?
What's a hobbit?
I definitely would recommend reading it because something about it, the whole lands of where each of the characters live, it's like fantasy. I think you'd really like it, you know?
I will be sure to read it, I promise. Okay, now, if you could be any character, any book, who would you be?
Wow, if I could be any character of any book.
Including a hobbit, a wizard.
There is this amazing book, and well, it's about nuns, okay, don't laugh. But it's about this woman who writes about her encounters of being a nun back in the days. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but she goes on these different missions, and okay, I can't give you the name of the book. But it's a wonderful book. It takes place in England. For some reason, I don't know why I'm in these projects that have to do with England, but I guess I'm fascinated with that time period. But I think I would portray that character. But if it was anything of like an animated character, I think I'll tell you one thing. There's a movie, okay, and it's based on Hans Christian Andersen. He wrote all of these children's stories, and I think I'd like to be one of his characters in one of his stories. So any character in one of his storybooks, I think that's what I'd like to portray. Yeah.
Talking about the nuns.
Yeah.
When I was like my brother's age, like 5 or maybe even 7.
Yeah.
I would be bored on television, and then I would just turn it on, and then we'd go on this nun.
On TV?
Yeah.
Wow.
About like this family, and then the words I still remember to this day is when the woman, she said, people don't believe that I'm an adult.
An adult. Oh, did she look very young?
Well, her face didn't look that young, but like, it was kind of...
Was she in a habit? You know, they call that habit that big white thing they all wear on their head and or maybe sometimes they're black. Was she in
Wait.
an outfit, like a uniform kind of thing?
I was thinking about yours.
A woman that's a dwarf. You know what's funny? Don't worry, I understand. I get sidetracked sometimes too.
I get those two mixed up so
I'm sure a lot of nuns would. I mean, you know, I'm sure they'd understand. They're very understanding women since they're nuns.
Wow. Now, I think this is my favorite question for me. I'm putting the votes up together to see what is better, ice cream or pudding. What's yours?
You're asking someone that has their whole life been trying to figure that question out. I love sweets, and just last night I had pudding, and a couple of days before that I had ice cream. So you're asking an unequal question. I think I have to fairly say I like them both.
This is what I'm gonna do. Ice cream has 6.5 votes.
Yes.
Because of you. You put that
A half out there, yes.
And then now pudding has half a vote.
Nobody said pudding. I'm shocked. They obviously didn't grow up with homemade pudding on the stove where you stir it and stir it and stir it until it gets really thick, and then you let it cool off, and it has a layer, and so it's all hot inside with a layer on top. That's the best pudding
I
ever.
never tried that.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Well, thank you so much. That was so fun.
Thank you, Julia. You are an amazing interviewer. I appreciate it. Thank you.